morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you all. All right, here we go. All right. My name is Vilma Ortiz Donovan. I'm a 61-year-old Hispanic woman who came to the castle, which is the Fortune Society Transition Housing, in 2007 after concluding my second state prison bid. I was one of 7 kids, suburban girl, Long Island, Hispanic parents. Ortiz is my maiden name. I grew up in the suburbs. My parents were, and they are, supportive and loving. I'm the one who should have ended up in prison, but we make choices. I think for me that I never felt important. The surroundings were fine, but I didn't seem to matter. Lots of teenagers rebel, but I was out of control. I hated school. Started drinking with the guys, and by the time I was 17 years old, I left home. And I went to go live with a girlfriend, and she was a disco doll, and that's when my downward spiral began. In those teen years, boy, those were tough years. I had no self-esteem or self-worth. I did a lot of things that I am not proud of. I guess I was looking for love because I didn't love myself. I'd hang out all night, sleep all day. When you're that young, you think you know it all, but you don't know where you're heading. You make choices, and good or bad, it's what shapes your life for years to come. Every club I went to, they were doing coke. It was the late 70s, and I got a job as a bartender. One customer named Junior. Junior was the star. Everyone gave Junior their attention, and I wanted to know why, so I began to have a relationship with Junior, and Junior introduced me to coke. We'd go out, we'd have the best tables in the house, we'd stay at fancy hotels. I finally thought that I was somebody, that I was important. Then after a while, I didn't need Junior anymore. I became Junior. My life consisted of selling drugs and partying and hanging out. I was using more than ever, but you see, that didn't matter, because the drugs made me feel like I was important and I was somebody. And finally, I was a star. Everybody wanted me. But in reality, at night I would go home and cry myself to sleep, begging God to help me. And then in the morning, I would start all over again. And all those feelings of loneliness, no self-esteem, no self-worth, and the need for help, they were all gone. I was losing my identity. I no longer knew who I was. I wanted to do right, to be a better person. I tried drug rehab, but was too scared to find out who I was. I put on this mask and tried to fool everybody, but only wound up fooling myself. I just wanted to be loved. I met a bartender named Jimmy Donovan in 1993. We got married just to get married. I was more in love with the thought of getting married than being in love with the man that I married. Guess what Jimmy Donovan wasn't? He wasn't the answer to my needs, my life. In 1995, I had my first arrest. I was working for the president of a rehab center, but a dirty urine, a failed drug test, led me to being fired. I responded by going out on a coke binge. On a drug-related charge, I got my first prison sentence of 3 to 6 years in a New York State prison. I was 39 years old. In prison that first time, I didn't do any work on myself. I took all the programs, drug-related and whatever, but I just talked the talk because I knew how. I relapsed when I was in work release, and that was in 2001. And I made the decision then. And I have been drug-free ever since. That last drug trip, it scared me. I blacked out for 15 hours. It should scare everybody, but it doesn't. It scared me. Let me explain. I remember being in a bar and looking at the clock, and it was 9 o'clock that night. My next conscious moment was noon the next day. And when I woke up, I had drugs, I had money, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I killed somebody. I don't know if I robbed somebody. I don't even know if I was raped. I went for HIV testing the next day, and that was it. I had hit my rock bottom, and I just wanted something different. It wasn't until after the second prison bid that programming started to matter to me. You see, because there's nothing in the prison atmosphere that makes you want to change. Prison is a very negative place. But when you're ready for change, all that negativity can go away. When I started to change, when I wanted to change, prison couldn't stop me. I came home in January of 2003. No drugs, but have you ever heard of the expressions of a dry drunk? Someone who isn't drinking, but has the behaviors of a drunk? Meet Vilma. I wanted to do right, but I wanted everything right away. And nothing was happening fast enough for me. I took a job that I hated. I fell into an ill-fated relationship. Coming home from prison that first time, it didn't prepare me for reality. I was arrested again that year and received a 3-year sentence. I was back in state prison. During my second prison bid, I knew that I had to do things differently. Perhaps I was starting to grow up. I began to write several places about housing because I knew I could not return back to Long Island. And one of the places that I wrote was the Fortune Society. I received a letter telling me about the programs as outpatient, GD, employment services, mental health, but a bed at the castle could not be guaranteed while I was still locked up. So I began programming, involving myself with groups and sessions that would help me explore who Vilma was and what Vilma needed to have the life that she deserved. This wasn't as easy as it sounds. It's been about making a new life for myself, but nothing gave me more pride and joy than when my family came to Fortune's Family Day. My mom, my brother, sister, nieces, nephew, everybody came. So we're sitting down eating, and my mama turns around to me and she looks at me, and she says to me, "I am so proud of you." That right there meant more to me than anything I could have ever wanted. You know, the castle people kept on telling me I have to do the work, but they created this place which allowed me to dig deep inside myself. So through the castle, I've been going to Broadway shows, off-Broadway shows. My life now is from the highly. You know, a while back ago, Christine Ebersol came to the castle for a performance, and when she got there, she came upstairs to my room. So we're in my room, and we're taking pictures and talking, like we're best friends. When we got downstairs and she started to perform, all I thought about was, wow, A year ago, I was in a New York State prison, and today I'm conversing and taking pictures with a 2-time Tony Award winning actress. Isn't that something? You know, I found the love and the acceptance that I've always been looking for. Without the drugs, without the alcohol. I like Vilma. Or should I say, I love Vilma. Home in July. So today I work for the Fortune Society. I am the executive assistant to the deputy CEO. Yes. I live in a beautiful apartment in Harlem. Yes. I travel every time I can. I travel. And I am a taxpayer. Yeah.